I'd like to apologize for the quality of the sound on this video yesterday. If you watched it, apparently all you could do is listen to it and not watch it. Hopefully we got that figured out today. Life is really much harder when you're dumb, and I reinforce that every day of my life. So let's go back and let's look at what we were trying to do yesterday, and that is to walk through these 6 stages of faith that we see in the life of Abraham, and really that we'll see that pattern played out in our own lives as we follow God. Solomon once said that God makes everything happen at just the right time, yet none of us is fully able to understand what he was doing. And so even though we might have the gift of hindsight and we can look back, it's still difficult for us as humans to fully understanding what exactly God is up to and what he's doing. And so it's good to just have faith. But your faith is dynamic, and it changes, and it's fluid, and just like your life will go through phases and changes, so will your faith. And so it's important to understand those stages and where you are in them. If you look at the life of Abraham, he very plainly gives us 6 stages of faith, and the first stage is a dream. God gave Abraham a dream: go and be a new nation, be the father of many, many people. This was a dream for Abraham's personal life. It was a dream for his family. God will give you a dream for yourself, for your family, for your future, and it takes faith to believe it. But it takes even more faith to get to the next stage, and that is to decide to act on that dream. Abraham was given that dream, and then Abraham had a choice to make. Oh, that's nice. Go on with life, or act, move, pack up, and leave. And that's exactly what he did. He left his father's house, he took everything he owned, and he moved to a place where he had never been before, a land he had never seen before, just acting on God's promise. The next stage is a delay stage. The Bible says that 11 years later, God still had not fulfilled his promise to Abraham. He still had not given him even a child so that he could become the father of many people. 11 years. You know what God was doing in those 11 years? He was preparing Abraham, molding Abraham, shaping him into the person he needed him to be. You know what it looked like to Abraham? To Abraham, it looked like God was doing nothing. And so when there's a delay, trust that God is in the background working. From there, the next stage is a stage of difficulty. Abraham in his heart knew that this was going to be impossible, if not just difficult, because Abraham was way past the age of having children. His wife was way past the age of bearing children. And yet God promised, and he was holding on to that promise, but this was going to be huge. This was going to be difficult. This was going to take God's interaction and intervention if this was going to happen. And maybe you find yourself in a very difficult situation. You have this dream that God has given you, but it almost seems impossible. The next to last stage is the dead end stage, because if it's not impossible, sometimes it just feels like your dream dies. God literally told Abraham, take the child I gave you and go sacrifice him to me. And I assume while Abraham was walking up that mountain, he must have felt like, my dream is going to die. This is a dead end. But God delivered. That's the last stage, the deliverance stage. And the great news is that the worse the dead end seems, the more painful the dead end, the greater the deliverance will be. God answered, God came through, and God fulfilled his promise. He always does. So, what stage are you in right now? Where are you on your journey of faith? It's important to recognize where you were, where you are. And tomorrow we'll look at how you work through these different stages. Be a person of faith, because as Solomon said, the Lord does things at just the right time, even though it's impossible for us to fully understand what he's doing. You just have to have faith. Bye.